We welcome you to another live edition of the Sports Box, brought to you by our friends at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use the box at sign up for 10 points. And here we go.
What's going on there?
What's up, Tom?
Seems like you had some something playing in the background. Were you listening to something good?
Oh, that was us coming on in the background. That was us.
No, there you go.
A
little quality control.
That's it.
I love it. So how you been, man? It's a fun
week, man.
Fun week of basketball. Some exciting stuff going on.
Yes, sir.
I guess
welcome you back from Florida. Feeling refreshed, ready to get back at it.
Yeah, I mean this snow that we're about to get and the snow that's on the ground really made me a little sad leaving. You know, I mean I can definitely use another day, another week, another month till all this weather gets out there. You know, I mean 75 degrees, beautiful, sunny. Watch the Super Bowl. You know, with a bunch of Bucks fans that were going absolutely insane, which is really fun experience. Helped the pocketbook a little bit too. You know, was able to get some cash flowing my way thanks to the greatest of all time, Tom Brady. You know, but you know, not much basketball action going down in the Bay Area. You know,
I can't imagine that.
Tracy McGrady, I didn't get a chance to see it, but my man KG and some people were able to watch I guess Tracy McGrady has a cannon in the flag football game that was being played down there that they watched. So hey, maybe McGrady should have went into the NFL instead of having an NBA career. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, the way some of these quarterbacks look now, McGrady might still be better than him. You know, I mean, a 6'9" gunslinger. Would be
yeah, that'd be impressive.
Yeah, really impressive. But so anyway, what we got the NBA, some exciting matchups tonight. We got Luka versus Trey. You know, our everybody's favorite player nowadays is or former MVP Derrick Rose went to the Knicks, and
I saw that.
Yeah, we got an exciting matchup with Giannis, and the surprising Suns. I don't know if they're surprising or not. I mean, we thought they would be pretty good with Chris Paul, but it looks like we got some good stuff to get into tonight. But first, let's talk about our main man that we care about most in this area, the Philadelphia 76ers.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, look, glad Paul Allen decided to communicate with us. I guess he'll be back next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks.
Thanks. We got our man Mike Galletta.
What's up, Mike?
Of the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneer fandom. You know, thank you for joining us, Mike. Yeah, big shout out, big congratulations. It was well earned, well deserved trip. Yeah, ABC always be closing. All right, Paulie, I hear you. Yeah, real closers get it done before the deadline. That's all I'm saying.
That's it.
Second place.
Football season's over. That's it. It's onward to basketball now. You know, and Sixers last night. I mean, I caught half the game. I was able to catch up on what happened, really. And our man Joel Embiid, MVP Embiid.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, again, playing incredible. 27, 15, 6 dimes. I mean, doing it all. Apparently, he took over the fourth quarter. You know, the Sixers had a big lead, let it slip away. Kings had the lead. Sixers shut them down on D. Joel took over, and you know, supporting cast. Tobias 22, Curry 22. I mean, Sixers are strong, man. 14-0 now with the starting 5 intact.
I mean, if nothing else, this just tells you the improvement that they made. You know, we ran down everything else. I mean, De'Aaron Fox also was amazing last night.
Yeah, he played a hell of a game. He's a really good player.
Buddy Hield got out of his funk a little bit. I see, you know, he had 6 threes, but you know, he shot 16, so the percentage isn't great, but he's still out there putting them up. But Fox putting up 35 and 10. I mean, that kid was special. When he could have been a really good fit for the Sixers if they didn't blow that Fultz trade.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you though, this game with Embiid putting up 25 and 17, that just shows, especially down when they came back in the fourth quarter, that just shows that they're poised to have that dominant big man. And if there's a team that you can actually just dominate inside, and that's going to be the Kings' problem when they get to the playoffs against guys like Anthony Davis or Jokic or some of these stud centers, is they have absolutely zero defense inside with Rashawn Holmes and Marvin Bagley. Yeah. Duke's Marvin Bagley, who let's not forget, Duke lost to Notre Dame this week, and he lost the Saturday night game. Me and KG were watching that.
Everybody's loving the Duke misery right now. Everybody.
Yeah, my heels took him out. So they got Marvin Bagley in the middle. We know he didn't play any defense. So Embiid really imposing his will down the stretch. That's clutch. Yeah. I mean, what did you take for Ben? Ben almost had a triple double. What did you take from that?
I'm sorry, who?
I said Ben Simmons almost had another triple.
I mean, that's the Ben stat line right there. What do you have? 13, 6, 7? That's the Ben stat line.
Usually 14, 7, and 9. 14, 7, and 9.
Okay. Well, that's the Ben.
Only 3 turnovers too.
Yeah, that's clutch. That's clutch. And he probably, it's about the supporting cast with Tobias and Curry and Shake Milton played well. And it's just, and then when you got Joel closing it out, he's become a closer. Get him the ball at the end, and not many people are gonna stop him.
Yeah, and that's what we want. That's what we really want. I mean, I think Joel, especially 2 years ago, he really struggled to close when you needed him, especially in that hot. And and I don't think we give Doc credit. I mean, let's give Doc Rivers credit for changing.
Go ahead with that. Yeah,
the roster. I mean, and when you look at it, are the Sixers the favorite to win the East? I mean, that's a great question. And right now they have a game and a half lead over Milwaukee, and we know Milwaukee and their playoff issues. I mean, their roster's a little different now. Brooklyn's lost 3 in a row. I don't know what they have going on.
Yeah, as of today, I believe the Sixers are the favorites. Just because, like you said, right now the Nets are just playing disinterested basketball. I mean, have you seen the ridiculous stat on the Nets? Their overs are 18-2 in the last 20 games, and tonight 95% of the public is on that over for this game, and they're playing the Pacers. But yeah, I mean, the Nets are just playing disinterested. Durant's out. I just feel like they're just trying to get to the playoffs and then turn it on. But as of today, I believe the Sixers are the favorites. They have to be.
Yeah, I mean, when the Sixers get down into the playoffs, I think that you're going to see a lot of the same type of basketball. I mean, I think this is a team that is built for a good playoff run. I mean, you have Ben who's been able to do everything. Joel is the dominant big man. You have the shooters, and Seth Curry. Now, Seth Curry, I mean, he's supposed to be 50% from the field, 50% 3-point, and like 90% group or something, like some exclusive club. I mean, he got in a little funk when he recovering from COVID, but now he's back to full strength. It seems playing much better.
Yeah.
And Chris Fallon says, like we always love, the overs club. I mean,
absolutely.
Brooklyn is a team, and not only are they an overs club, I mean, they have DeAndre Jordan in the middle. But
they let go. I mean, they let go of their best defensive player in the trade, and
Jared Allen.
Yeah, Jared Allen. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, and they're running out full offense, and like I think you're right in that. I think that you're on the right path. Listen, they're just worrying about the playoffs. Then good luck trying to score with them. Once you have a healthy Harden, Kyrie, Durant, and Joe Harris hitting the bombs, and they got some stuff. I mean, and Dinwiddie's been hurt. I mean, if they still had Dinwiddie, that would be even a bigger headache. But so they'll probably wind up in the 3rd, 4th seed and really not worry about home field advantage, because guess what? it's not that big because the stands aren't filled. So I mean, that's something we have to look at. My man Mike Pistone, Doc makes a big
What's up,
difference.
Mike?
Absolutely, he makes a difference.
Yeah.
You know, when you just look at his team, I mean, the game last night, they were down in almost double digits, I believe it was, and came back strong in the fourth quarter. That's a game more times than not that they would lose on the Brett Brown.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think Doc is a huge difference maker there. And the other thing too, let's not forget the importance that a guy like Danny Green and Howard, makes as far as veteran leadership that we finally have.
Yeah.
You have to love what Doc's bringing to this team. And the thing that I am, and I think the players are even more importantly, is they're confident in what Doc says. There's a lot of room to question Brett Brown and what he was doing. But with Doc, he's been there. He's done that. Now, all his relationships with the players and certain things didn't always work out, and some of his moves didn't always work out in game. But he has that pedigree that players have to respect. And I think he was the biggest difference. And this is where we want the Sixers to go with that,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Chris Fowler's more reshaping the roster was huge as well. Yeah, that goes a little bit to my point as far as bringing in Brennan leadership, Seth Curry, and to piggyback what Mike said earlier is, bringing in Doc. I mean, let's not forget what he has done to Tobias Harris. He's actually made him look like the player that he should be, that he needed to be for the last 2 years. And it's not surprising. And then Morey has really pulled the strings, and we're not surprised to see what he's able to do on the back end, right? He's still going to be pulling strings, and he's going to be looking to move. I mean, I know there's some rumors. You got Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, a few other guys that are trying to get out of bad situations, and probably for the best of those organizations to get rid of them. So I think that's going to be key. And just imagine what place and what the Sixers organization would be like if they didn't blunder in the Colangelo years.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's insane. It really is. It really is. The talent that was let go, the coaching, everything. It's just all a culmination. Is just they just blew it. It's and it's. It was tough. Those were tough years, man. Watching that, man. It was just,
I mean, every week we're watching a former Sixer improve.
Yeah.
Some team, Rashawn Holmes, Christian. Last night, I mean, Rashawn Holmes. I have him in one of my fantasy teams. He's steady. He's athlete. He's energy. He is what he is. Definitely could help a team. Jeremy Grant, Christian Wood. I mean, the one thing you're not going to see. The one thing you're not going to see too much is too many guards excel, because Brett Brown really, he just didn't really have that acumen to bring in a guard.
Yeah.
The Fultz debacle. I mean, we looked at Darren Fox last night. I mean, imagine Darren Fox on his Sixers team right now. I mean,
even picks like Okafor.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
just,
I give Hinkie a pass for Okafor, and here's why. At the time, they really had question marks about Joel Embiid and his health. Then, and they remember Nerlens Noel was hurt. They had question marks about Joel Embiid's health, and they had Okafor slated at the time. Sam Hinkie actually wanted Kristaps Porzingis, which obviously is a much better player than Okafor. The other thing though is it's really hard to predict how much of a bum Okafor was going to be when he first got into Philadelphia.
True.
I think last time we had the show, I talked about Okafor's dad was just a headache. But I've always went to Bricks Brown's coaching clinic. That was one thing. He did a phenomenal job. The Sixers organization would do a phenomenal job with the coaches clinic, and he had players out there. And Jahlil Okafor would be one of those players when 1 year I was there. And as a coach myself, if I was coaching him, if he acted that way in a regular practice, I might have thrown him out again. But he acted that way in front of I wouldn't dare call our peers, but other coaches. Brett Brown he's opening up a practice to the public and inviting coaches in. And Joe Okafor he was pouting about drills he would have to do, and it was literally quarter speed, and he was just like, he thought he was too good to be there. It was just idiotic. And you had a guy like T.J. McConnell who, for whatever you feel about his talent, he's running up and down the court like a madman, chipping the paint off the rim every time he shot the ball. Yeah. But he was like, you see why Brett Brown kept him around, because he was like active and everything. So it's like the Okafor pick was bad how it turned out, but he was probably one of the more talented players. He was more insurance, but then he just came in and he just so I mean, and then plus Hinkie got overruled on that pick too. I mean, imagine Porzingis here too. I mean, wow.
I know.
Yeah, so I mean, the Sixers had a lot of missteps getting to this point. And that's to say, I always trusted the process. I didn't always agree with some of the steps that was taken, and the process died once Hinkie got forced out, and then Colangelo, and then CBS Sports today. Did you see the article CBS Sports put out?
No. So
they were redoing the 2018 draft. A little bit and talking about that, and Shake Milton, that's he was one of the biggest surprises from that draft, so that was good. But if you look at that was the Zaire Smith draft. Zaire Smith he's not playing
in any league, right? He's not in anything.
Exactly. He's not playing professional basketball. I mean, how bad of a pick is it where you're not even playing professional basketball anymore 3 years later?
Not even overseas, nothing. It's crazy.
It's just insane. I don't know. Maybe he has COVID issues or something now. I know he did have like some health issues, like he almost died eating a sesame seed, his rookie year. But I mean, that draft was loaded where his Sixers were picked. I mean, so Morey doing that. All Morey did, a lot of stuff was obvious.
Yeah, he came in,
got a great shooter. You get a good coach and you get a better shooter. Josh Richardson, he shot the ball okay when he was with Miami, and he came to this Philly and didn't really shoot the ball well at all.
No, very streaky player. You didn't know what you're going to get out of him every night. I mean, I remember I had a prop on him last year. He was on a little scoring run. I put the prop down on him. He scored. I think he didn't score at all. He had 0 points. So, yeah, I didn't really like his fit with the Sixers. I wasn't feeling him on the squad.
Yeah, he was really a I don't know. It's just out of place, just out of place.
Well, then again, Brett Brown was the coach, so.
Well,
Brett Brown a lot.
But here's the problem with that. That was the draft that Brett Brown had control of the draft. Remember he was the interim GM.
Yeah.
So Brett Brown, who had complete control of the draft,
think about that statement in itself.
Talk about somebody who else is out of. So Brett Brown, who's out of basketball, right? He didn't pick. He hasn't been picked up anywhere. I think he's just coaching the Australian team, which Patty Mills will be an all-star. He's out of basketball. Zaire Smith's out of basketball. I mean, what a blunder that is, But if you're going to pick a player, I mean, Zaire Smith is a 6'4" power forward, and he tried to turn him into a shooting guard.
Yeah, we didn't even need that.
Well, here's the other thing too, and I guess I'll give them a little bit of credit, because I guess they recognized very early on that Zaire Smith wasn't going to be a player. Because when they drafted Matisse Thybulle, when you think about Matisse Thybulle and you think about Zaire Smith, you think guys who are really just defensive players at this point in their career. But I guess they realized that Zaire Smith was so bad and never will have a future in Philadelphia that they're going to hurry up and quickly replace him. And, Thybulle has done a very good job in certain aspects, help dig and be a nuisance and very active. But offensively, he's still not really an impactful player, not even close. So, but, we got our boy J Rock in the house. What's up, Jay?
There he is. What's up, J Rock?
How's that new mattress life feeling? He said he got the new mattress. Sealy Posturepedic or something like that. It's like it's like sleeping on the. He's sleeping on the clouds now, bro. Sleep on the clouds.
J-Rock.
Fallon brings up a point about Porzingis didn't want to play in Philly. I don't care. That's the biggest thing in professional sports. Yeah. You don't want to play. I don't care. You know, I mean, I think Porzingis being foreign and not coming over might have more leverage, but the Sixers would still maintain his rights. You know, and you take a player like them, and if you could, I mean, he had the ability, and he would have trade value for nothing else. He would be better than Okafor, because if you think too, Fultz they got absolutely nothing for. Okafor they got absolutely nothing for, and Zaire Smith they really got nothing for. I mean, it's like, but at the same time,
look where we're at.
Look where we're at, because you get the right coach in there, you get the right GM in there, and they start building, and there you go. It takes off. Because not everybody could just have LeBron James run their team for them, or Kevin Durant run their team, and everybody else wants to play there. So this is a great start for it.
It always seems like no one wants to come play here, like big free agents and nothing, man. It never seems like they want to make it a point to come to Philly and play. Like I wish that would happen. Like just when these free agents open up and then want to come play here.
That's one of the biggest things that people don't realize about Philadelphia. We see Philadelphia as a huge city, when it's one of the biggest cities in the country, but it's not a free agent market. No free agent has ever come to Philly that was worth anything in their prime. None.
Yeah, I know.
The only one, and we'll say it's a caveat. Okay. The last big signing was Elton Brand, Al Horford. No, they were past their prime and they weren't a good fit.
Yeah, they were done. Yeah, collecting money, stealing money.
So these players, so there's no big time free agent that ever came. The only player that you can kind of attribute to being a free agent coming to Philly, and everybody wants to bash LeBron for being creating these super teams. Moses Malone, he was a signing trade.
Yeah.
Because he forced his way, so he could have came as a true free agent, but then they worked out somewhere. It was actually a sign and trade. I don't know, if the NBA orchestrated that or what. But Moses Malone was actually officially traded, but he could have been a free agent. That was probably the only free agent that in Philadelphia history.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's just not a destination. Listen, we as fans are a tough crowd, right? It's a tough crowd. Philadelphia in the winter, as we know, it's not as bad as Minnesota or some of these other places, but you don't see them getting too much love. It's also not an area where there's a lot of like hometown players. I mean, there's some players from Philly, Kyle Lowry, them kind of guys. Oh my God, my boy KG just popped on. Okay,
that's it. There he is.
Hey guys, did you hear? All right, Kev. What did we hear? What did we hear? I want to know. I think I know where this is going.
What's the punchline here? What's the punchline here?
I'm waiting for his punchline, but
still recovering. Kev's still recovering.
Listen, he did not have much of a voice last night at all. I mean, it was pretty crazy. That night. I actually, if you know what, maybe I'll be able to pull up the video. I got a video of Kevin, and what he was looking like after the Bucks. It's fine if you want to. Yeah, so I'll try to pull that up in a second here.
I do like KG's beard game. So
listen, he needs to taper it up. It was a little raggedy this weekend. He had to get. He was all madman. I mean, he was all he had the madman going. I mean, but his true form of. Here it goes. Did you guys hear Tampa Bay Buccaneers are Super Bowl champions?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll let that hang up there for a little bit. We'll give KG his love, and I put this out on I put it out on Twitter earlier today too, or was it yesterday about the video? So let me if I could actually download it, and maybe I could get it from Twitter or something like that. We could see because I have the video, but yeah, it's getting a little crazy in there though. So, but
Now KG needs the Bulls to win for him now. I mean, how long is that going to take, KG?
yeah, well, that's another thing. Hey, he's getting mad because we were messing around with his baby. But I mentioned the mask, so let's don't get all butt hurt now, there, buddy. You know, don't get that go.
That's it, Chris.
Yeah. What's happens in Tampa stays in Tampa. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, we'll see. Listen. We behaved ourselves pretty much in Tampa. Nobody got beat up or any nonsense like that. But our boy J Rock asking about the All-Star game coming up. What are your thoughts about the All-Star game?
I mean, I don't mind it. The players don't seem to like it. You know, King James came and spoke out how he don't feel like he wants to play or it doesn't mean anything. So now I know a couple other players come out and said it. So I mean, it is tough because it's like the whole NBA All-Star weekend is just such a big deal and everyone's there. It's a whole big party for the whole weekend. I mean, I know you've done one, maybe a couple, but you know how it is. It's just like thousands of people everywhere. It's just not the same atmosphere. I mean, I kind of agree with LeBron. It's like, what are you doing it for? Let's just give those guys a break, and start back up. I just don't feel like. I mean, what kind of game is it going to be? I mean, it's already an exhibition game. It's going to be even more of an exhibition game. Like, you think these guys are going to go out there and really, really do anything? So, I don't know. I kind of agree.
Yeah. Now the game itself. Now I think that I think that it's probably the most entertaining All-Star game, like how it's played. I mean,
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you have certain things that are just completely unwatchable, like the Pro Bowl. I mean, that's unwatchable nowadays. It's just a joke. But I think the NBA All-Star game for the most part is something that we could actually watch and enjoy. Now you're looking at it from that perspective. The players don't have to play too hard. I don't know how much you're going to be you're socializing. I mean, they'll have events and stuff like that. But like we're talking about the Super Bowl, it was kind of tamed down. There wasn't really a ton to see around the stadium and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think they should expand the rosters. I think they need to change the voting a little bit. Klay Thompson, last time I checked, was like top 10 in votes, and he hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I think it should be players and coaches voting. Maybe 30% players voting, 30% coaches voting, and maybe 40% fan voting, or some kind of ratio with that. But
Yeah.
I'd see them vote for the entire teams, and or play, pick the players or something like that. So, I think that there's a lot of stuff that they could change to kind of make it a better experience in this type of environment. The players crying about it. Now, here's the thing: a lot of them get bonuses for making the All-Star team. There's escalators, the All-Pro team as well. Joel Embiid not making the All-Pro team last year saved the Sixers a ton of money. Mm-hmm. So when you have the escalators and those kind of things, I bet the players will still want that though. But
I just think it's funny, when LeBron speaks out, it's like he's running the league, and then guys just fall in place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that, but I think it kind of backfired a couple times on them. But they came out with they're going to have the dunk contest and stuff. And I think it's in March 17th, so it should be fun. But let's get into some of the games that we have going on tonight. I think the biggest game tonight is the Hawks versus Mavericks. It starts. I think it's starting up right now, actually.
Yeah, it's probably started up.
Yeah, it's starting up. I mean, if you look at that, we have our boy Trey Young up here against Luca, which two of the most impressive, you know, and one-way players at least, because let's be honest, neither of them play any kind of defense, and yeah, it's kind of funny. And let me take this down because I misspelled Trey, but let's spell it correctly now. There we go. Because you know how our mothership, Brian Atard, he wants to he always on spelling, So what do you think? I mean, first of all, you have Trey versus Luca. You have two teams that I mean, I guess Atlanta, at 11 and 12 is pretty much just a little bit of a surprise coming off what they had last year. But
They had a nice start. They had a nice start, Atlanta. That's what got them their 11 wins. They started off pretty hot.
Yeah. So but you have the Mavericks at 11 and 14. They don't play much D at all. So what? I mean, are these guys just all show, or are they actually, something that they're going to create their teams and take them to the next level? Because it seems like as much heat that we give the young players. I mean, you have the Phoenix Suns. Well, let's go DeAndre Ayton. They're 14 and 9, but a lot of that has to do with DeAndre Booker. Devin Booker and Chris Paul, right? And some nice pieces there. I mean, then you have then you have Zion. The Pelicans are still under 500. And you have Trey, Luca, these guys. I mean, it still goes to show that these young players need time to develop and grow. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times we're very quick to kind of bash them,
Yeah, I mean, guys like Luca. I mean, Luca's 27, 9 and 9 this year. I mean, he's doing his thing. I mean, and he's just getting Porzingis back. And actually, the Mavs are playing a little bit better. I believe they won their last 4 games. Don't quote me on that. I'm not positive.
But let's see. The Mavs won 2 in a row.
2 in a row. I'm sorry.
They're 3-7 in their last 10, and they won 2 in a row.
Yeah, so I mean, they're getting Porzingis back in the play, and I just think Luka needs a couple more players around them, more structure around them. As far as Trey, I mean, same with him. He's a little different. He gets that comparison to Steph Curry a lot, and he's not as good a shooter as Steph is, obviously. But yeah, I think he needs help down there. I think these guys just need help. I mean, they're very good players, but they can't do it on their own with some of the rosters they have right now.
And those two were traded for each other on draft day. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to pull up the trade. I'm trying to remember who they were actually traded for. Because there's there was so many trades and stuff like that going on in this draft, and in pretty much every draft in the NBA.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember what the actual details of that trade, because I think far and away Luka is the better player. He just can do a little bit more because of his size. Trey Young's an exciting player, but he's also extremely ball dominant. He's a phenomenal passer for somebody who's so ball dominant. And John Collins got a little bit of they had a little bit of scuffle, because he wasn't a fan of how Trey was playing. A lot of hero ball shots and stuff like. So let's go here. Dallas acquired Luka. Atlanta acquired Trae Young and a protected 2019 first round selection. See, now here we go with the protections and
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So yeah. I don't know why KG's texting me while I'm trying to do the draft, but
KG.
yeah, so yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I think this has a lot to do with the organizational fit too. With Trey in Atlanta, and I think he's a fit for that organization. He's a fit for that demographic of fans,
Yeah.
and Dallas has always had a lot of a lot of foreign players coming off the Dirk, and then they got Porzingis and Luka, and it's just kind of how they flow a little bit, and I think Cuban, who's also in the headlines this week for other things, let's put it that way. It's what do you think about that? The flag controversy, or
Well, apparently no one really found out until a couple games ago. Someone noticed it or someone put it out there. And I guess Cuban came out and said, it doesn't represent some of his players or their beliefs, and he felt they didn't have to play it. Now the NBA stepped in and said, oh, you're going to have to play it. So tonight they're playing it. So that's pretty much all I really heard from that front, is that it will be played tonight. The Mavs will play it tonight.
Yeah, and I think it's the right thing to do. I mean, obviously, the national anthem isn't everybody in the NBA's anthem, for whatever reason or another. Some of them just aren't American. NBA has a lot of foreign players.
Sure.
But it's just like when when you go to Canada, if there's a environment in Canada, they play the Canadian national anthem. I mean, the NBA doesn't have many Canadian players. They have more than 10 years ago, but it's not. It's not filled with Canadians, but they still play the Canadian anthem. And I think the NBA did the right thing about saying, we're having uniformity where they have to play the national anthem. See, and here's the other thing too: the NBA has a rule way before all the anthem protests and stuff started about them actually having to stand during the national anthem. It's a requirement, and that was put in years ago. So, I think Cuban came out and said, "Hey, no problem. If you're making us do it, we're going to do it." So we didn't get much pushback, which was probably smart on his part. As far as let's not make this a huge issue. If it's a rule, it's a rule.
Yeah, the backlash he could have got if he responded in a Cuban way, could have hurt him a little bit.
And Cuban's always been on the forefront of helping the players out, and
Sure.
He's always a very conscious owner. So I think that he realizes not every situation can be handled with how he handles it at times.
Yeah.
Luka
tonight over 28.5. I would take that. I don't see much day being played.
Yeah, I took I didn't take Luka. I think I took Trey. Trey. Yeah, I think I took Trae Young tonight.
Okay.
What other bets you got going on while we're bringing it up? I know I took and here's a weird one. I took Sabonis over 21.5, and I put my parlay in because I do a small parlay for every I bet straight. So I put the parlay in. I got that. I got, I think, Trae Young, and I have one more that I can't remember off the top of my head.
I like the Porzingis. I like the Porzingis pick.
So then I had
Brooklyn.
Yeah, Sabonis. Yeah. So Brooklyn, but that's the other thing. So I took Porzingis. I mean, now you got me saying it. I took I took our boy Sabonis.
There you go.
Over 21.5. The juice was minus 110 in my parlay. I hit the button, blah, 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 leave it in. I go to put in my straight bets. The juice changed to minus 141 like that. So, yeah. Well, that's That's
They're
because
playing Brooklyn.
Brooklyn has a jelly donut in the middle. You know, I mean, they have a donut. No
And
D in the middle at all.
and that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna. I see 18-2. What am I gonna do? I got it. Do I? 95% of the public. So I'm rolling with the over. I mean,
The only question with the over on that is if Indiana's guards are going to be able to score. That's the thing. You're going to need Indiana's guards to put up some points, and they're not always going to do that.
Kyrie don't play defense.
Well, I agree 100%. You know, is he playing tonight? That's another thing.
He is. Durant's not playing. Durant is out.
Right.
So it's just Harden and the Kyrie show. So I mean,
it's only a 1.5 line too. So you're looking at
yeah, possible. This is an Indy. This is an Indy line. Indy.
Yeah. Now it's tough though because you're looking at these guys now. I mean, Malcolm Brogdon is, he's averaging over 20 points a game, which is something that's not really his forte. Oladipo's gone. TJ Warren's hurt for prior to the season, and that's what I'm saying. You have Justin Holiday and these guys, but they don't really have that other scoring guard. But this if you want to play against anybody scoring, I mean, what's TJ McConnell averaging this year? 5 points maybe if he's lucky.
Yeah, if he's lucky.
Yeah. So you're talking about a you're talking about a team who that might be, I don't know what his props is over under would be, but that's something that could be sneaky because they can't make it too high. That might be 6, and McConnell might come out there and put up at least 10 with his little dribble the ball around 4 times and put up a couple layups or hit a couple mid-range jump shots, and you got an easy over. So I mean that's a sneaky play there. But this game tonight, Brooklyn versus the Pacers. It's just like, Durant's not playing. This guy's not playing. He might play tomorrow night. It's really making me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say disinterested, but it's disheartening. That's for sure.
Yeah, I totally feel that the Nets are just like sleepwalking right now, and it could come back and kick them in the ass because
Yeah.
I mean, not seeding wise, but just like team wise, getting into a flow of things. It's very important, man. These guys to play together. Saw it last year with Embiid. When Embiid is always in and out of the lineup, felt like it take 3 or 4 games for them to look like a team. So
yeah, it does, and you see it because it just changes the whole dynamic of it. What other bets you have for nights in these games?
You got tonight's Bucks Suns game. I think I haven't seen. An hour or so ago, Paul was questionable, so I don't know if Chris Paul's playing tonight. It's questionable. The Bucks are like -4, -4.5. I like the Bucks here. Giannis, big game. Giannis, it's gonna be like a Giannis maybe triple-double game. Think about that. If you see some.
You know how I am with my triple-double props. I did I got Luka triple-double, and I got Giannis triple-double, and I have them parlayed.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth a shot, man. It's worth a shot. I even saw Chris Middleton double-doubles, 375, plus 375 tonight for a double-double. He's possible nice little play there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some information whether Chris Paul is going to play tonight.
Yeah, I was just going to do the same thing. Like I said earlier, he was questionable. So
I'm about to go to my resources here on the interwebs if I could find it. I don't have anything jumping out at me right now, but yeah.
Game time. Right now it says game time decision, a hamstring.
Yeah.
And that's a 10 o'clock start. So.
And that's also an ESPN game, right?
Yeah, that's after the Atlanta game.
Yeah, so we'll get that information as soon as possible. And I have him on my fantasy team too. So
Got the Lakers tonight. Lakers minus 12 again playing the Thunder, who they just went to overtime with on Friday.
And that's crazy too, because if you're looking at that game, it's like, really, I mean, you just pick a team for overtime, and now it's like, all right, I guess so,
yeah. Actually, they played Saturday. I'm sorry, not Friday.
Yeah, I got you. No, I know what you meant. I mean, it's it's. So what else? So what? Any games that you like tonight? As far as I say, so let's go. Let's just go back through them real quick. Now we got the Clippers versus Timberwolves. I don't think Karl Anthony Towns is playing. But is Kawhi playing or not? I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Paul George is out tonight.
Paul George. I knew one of them was out.
Yeah.
So I think I took over Kawhi. I think I got Kawhi to get a double tonight. So that really shouldn't be too interesting game. Memphis versus Charlotte. John Morant against Lonzo LaMelo Ball. Now listen, he's been playing pretty good now.
He has, man.
He just has to work on the defense, and he's becoming a little bit better player, and he's a good fit with Devontae Graham, who's a very small guard, and Gordon Hayward. I don't think many people thought Hayward would be playing like this.
Yeah, no, he's playing well, man. I mean, once they plugged Ball in the starting lineup, they've been a better team.
Yeah, he definitely brings something to them that I think that it's going to be an exciting game. And you always John Morant from Memphis. I mean, he's one of the most exciting players in the NBA. So that Memphis Charlotte Hornets game should be pretty good. The Bulls and Pelicans. Is Zion not playing? I mean, why is this only a 2.5-point game?
I don't know. I thought the same thing. Yeah, no injuries for the Pelicans. And it's 2.5 at Chicago.
Yeah, I don't have a lean on that game. I don't if people are out or what's going on. I mean, it is just so hard to figure out who's playing, who's not. I mean,
you really have to do your research.
I mean, Marketing is out. I know that. Otto Porter's been out. I mean, they've both been out. So, I mean, a full. Why is
Wendell Carter's out. Otto, like you said, Porter, Marketing, and Pelicans are all go tonight. I'm selling.
Yeah, I mean, how does Brandon Ingram and Zion, who just kills everything inside. How this is only a 2.5-point game, I guess only Vegas knows. Bucks are laying 4.5, which if it's only a 4.5-point line, I have to think that Chris Paul's going to play tonight.
It would have been above that if Chris Paul. I agree.
I mean,
it's been at 4.5 for the last since 6 o'clock since I saw it. So almost 2 hours. It's been the same. I mean, it's a game time decision. So I mean, if you really want the Bucks now,
jump on.
Yeah.
The other, we got Denver versus the Cavs. I mean, Denver's laying 9.5. I think that's something I'm going to jump on tonight for the late game. Everybody should be playing for Denver tonight. So I'm really liking that game there. What else do we have underneath on our play here? Lakers should roll OKC. Am I missing anything yet? Did I miss one?
No, that's all of them tonight. That's the whole slate tonight.
Iowa's playing Rutgers tonight. Iowa, that's a team that's really let down.
I don't think you mentioned Toronto and the Wizards. They started already.
Yeah, I skipped them because they started. So I think that's one of the things that they're doing. And let's see, do a little game cast live looking on that. Yeah, Raptors are up 10. I don't know. So Lowry is back, and is everybody playing for? Well, yeah, Beal and
Well, speaking of Lowry, did you see that he put his home up for sale, and they're thinking he's going to be dealt.
Yeah, I did hear. I did hear his name. He was mentioned with the Beal and the. He was mentioned with the Beal rumors. Not rumors. He was mentioned with Beal and Levine as guys who could possibly be
Yeah.
traded. I mean, I am on record as not being a Kyle Lowry fan. I just think he's an average guard at best.
Yeah.
You know, he was never the best player on his team. He might be this year because Siakam hasn't continued to develop. But for many years, him and DeRozan played together, and really DeRozan carried a team, and Kyle Lowry was nowhere to be found during the playoffs. Kawhi comes to the team, takes them on their magical run, and Lowry had a couple good games. But now you see, Freddie VanVleet seems like to be the lead guard there now,
Mm.
So what does Kyle Lowry do that makes me want to have him, acquire him? I mean, obviously the Sixers message boards and stuff like that are going crazy,
I don't
with
first. I don't even. I wasn't even really talking about the Sixers. I don't even think he would be a good fit on the team. I don't. I don't know. I don't know how that would go with him.
I don't like it at all, but it's
Yeah.
just he's a Philly guy, from Nova,
Yeah.
and how people just try to simplify things, and I don't think he's a good fit because he's not a good enough shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what you want. You want from a guy is to be a good shooter. Where he would be a good fit, I really don't know. I mean, if you look at the top teams, we'll just go over East. So you have the Sixers, no; Bucks, no; Nets, no; Celtics, no; Pacers to handle the point guard duties. I mean,
Yeah.
you have Malcolm Brogdon there, who's more of a point guard there. I mean, he'll take it, but that doesn't put the Pacers over top. Hornets, Atlanta, Toronto, Miami. I mean, the Knicks. We haven't really talked too much about the Knicks acquiring Derrick Rose. I mean, that's a good story. He reunites with Tibbs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Miami Heat. No, I mean, they're 10-14 struggling, but Kyle Lowry isn't going to sit there and kickstart the team. And the Heat have won 3 straight, so you don't want to mess up that mess.
Mm-hmm.
You could jump over to the West Coast. Jazz, no. Lakers, no. Clippers, no. Suns, no. Trailblazers, no. San Antonio. Now that may be a place where he could fit in. I mean, reunite him with DeRozan.
Yeah.
Take over that lead guard role, I guess, from was it Delonte Wright and Rico White and them guys. I mean, maybe. Well, other than that, Nuggets, no. Warriors, no. Kings, no. Pelicans, no. I mean, and what does San Antonio give up for him? I
Yeah.
mean,
What do you get? What do you really get for him? Yeah.
I mean, listen, they just. I think that might be really the only place to get them, and they have a 2-game lead. I mean, listen, in the Southwest Conference, they're the only team over 500. New Orleans, Memphis, Houston, and Dallas all under 500, and that would be that's a little surprising. Trade assets for them. I don't know what they would want to give up.
Yeah.
Let's see. I guess their last game. I mean, they have Rudy Gay, DeRozan, Kyle Lowry. Does that move the needle for? It might keep them off contention a little bit, but I really can't see them being Kyle Lowry. Because
unless there's an injury to a player and a team, needs to scoop somebody up. I mean, and is desperate. Like I said, like you're saying, I don't see him really.
Yeah, I mean, DeJounte Murray is who I was talking about, and Murray is an interesting guard. I mean, he's a kid who has a ton of talent, ton of off court and stuff like that issues. He's just but I guess he could fit in well there. So, but what they would send back to Toronto, I don't know, but Lonnie Walker he started out well for them, but regressed, recently. Patty Mills is still over there. I mean, I can see a fit there. But he's just not. He's not dynamic like Zach LaVine. He's not like these other guys. Like, what do you like if you throw these three guys who are, hot trade commodities, Kyle, Zach LaVine and Riley Beal, and then you have Kyle Lowry. I mean, Kyle Lowry is a distant third on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, because Beal and them you could fit in. Beal and LaVine could fit in their instant offense and be a great fit for anybody.
Yeah.
But you got any closing thoughts? Anything you want to add, Ant, before we get out of here?
Oh, not really, man. I'm just looking forward to the rest of the season. I'm concentrating on basketball now. Football's over. Ready to get back into the flow.
Nick Foles to the Bears. I know you're a Bears fan.
Please, no.
I don't blame you on that one, bud. I don't blame you on that one.
But yeah, man, I'm excited about the Sixers. I really am. I think they could go far this year. I really do. I'm excited to see what happens, and I'm hoping maybe Morey can mix it up and grab someone and make it really interesting, and we can do it, man. I just let's ride Joel.
Yeah, it's a little funny too, though, because Morey make a move, add something. I don't know exactly what this team needs.
No, you're right. No, you're right. You just kind of feel like a little tweak maybe here and there, but I mean, our bench we got a nice bench. We got young guys coming off the bench. We got Howard leadership. So you're right. I think if maybe we could keep the same squad and roll on.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think that's where I would lean because I mean, I don't want to stunt the development of guys like Shake Milton and Tyrese Maxey. I like to see them play meaningful minutes. And I don't think there's anybody out there. Lou Williams is a name that people like to bring up for, hey, bring Lou Williams back off the bench. He's having a tough year right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know right now if bringing Lou Williams here, who's also been one of the worst playoff performers in the last 10 years. He's just had dreadful playoffs. I don't know if I want to bring in a player like that to, at the chance of, stopping some of the development from our young guys.
I understand.
Maybe a shooter off the bench as far as like a stretch four. I might, like a center a center big that can actually, play, on the 3-point line, maybe to open up the lane or something like that. A backup role. Not sure who would be available that would fit that role. But that would be probably something that I would say really is the only Sixers need right now because Mike Scott isn't getting it done. Mike Scott was playing that role. He's just not getting it done. I'm trying to think who else. And the Sixers down the road, I mean, they have a tough schedule because, after Portland tomorrow night, Saturday night they're at Phoenix, then they're at Houston. They're at Phoenix and then they're at Utah and two of the better ticket teams. Yeah. And then you're looking at Houston, Chicago, then you have Toronto on a back-to-back, Dallas. I mean, so their big tests are going to come up to Phoenix and Houston. Then they could close out strong because not Houston. I keep saying Houston, Utah. Then they could close out strong. You have Chicago, Toronto twice, Dallas, Cleveland, and that was all games they should win. So I mean, there isn't an excuse at all for the Sixers not to close out extremely strong.
Yeah, yeah. And, well, you got to expect Embiid here to sit out a game or two coming up soon, too. I definitely see that coming.
As long as it's been working because the results are there.
Yeah.
The starting lineup is, 14-0 now?
Yeah, yep.
So the results are there, so you can't really argue. The thing that I would worry about, and that would be the chemistry. Because the only reason why the Sixers are losing when Embiid isn't playing is because they're not going to they're just not into the game, like you said. And I don't want it to be a situation like the Clippers had. And who was the coach of the Clippers, Ant, last year?
Doc Rivers.
And they were talking about guys didn't come to practice, guys didn't do that, blah blah blah. So it's one of those things where you can't have to. And we'll close this out with a question from J Rock. NBA season always lands in LA, so got to stop LeBron James from getting another chip. And I will have to say, proud of the way Philly is looking good. I mean, since you're a Clippers fan, J-Rock, Philly is looking good. I appreciate that. Love and I think the Clippers are going to be a little bit tougher out this season in the playoffs than they were last season. I just have that feeling that Kawhi and Paul George kind of learned a little bit. And I like somebody to Serge Ibaka, and I think they're a little bit more ready for a playoff run.
Seems like they seem very under the radar this year. To me, they seem under the radar.
Well, listen, they came in last year with so much hype.
Yeah,
I mean, new uniforms on cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
That we're LA now. We're part of this town now. Blah blah blah, and they came up small. And a lot of times when you put a team together, and the Bucks are a great example of everything working perfectly. But how many times have we seen teams? LeBron James' his first year when he went down to Miami. It takes a little bit for teams to gel and actually. So everybody's like a year. They're a little bit a year ahead of expectations.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that they have to be, worry about. Now they're just sitting back, in the back seat, and they're ready to play. They're just playing ball. Whenever they are not in load management.
We got to slow down the Jazz, man. 20-5.
Wow. Yeah. The Jazz is just playing unreal. It doesn't matter who's in the lineup, who's out of the lineup. I mean, Spider Mitchell's been putting up points. It's just impressive. But I think that's a team that they're going to have to get really hot at the right time to actually make a playoff run. A real playoff run. And right now, are they a team? They are a team that is allowing fans in.
Yeah.
So that is a little important, but as far as standings go, where are they at in the standings? And they're first in the Western Conference. Yeah,
the Jazz, correct? Yeah.
They're first in the Western Conference. They're a game above the Lakers, so they're a team that's going to need, that a home court advantage could actually benefit. So I think,
and really, I mean, in a series, can they really hang with the Lakers in a series? So.
No, not a club. I mean, but right now the matchup right now would be Jazz versus the Golden State Warriors in his first round of playoffs. Well, they changed it, so I'm just saying that the 8th seed right now because if they have that play-in game for the 8th seed now. So, but if you're just looking at standings, it would be the Jazz and the Warriors, and the Jazz has a great chance to win that game, and then they would play probably the Suns in the next round, and I think the Suns would give them a lot of problem, but it's still a winnable series, And then, I mean, there's a lot of basketball to be played until we get to that point, but the Jazz need to keep up winning, and do good. So, anyway, Ant, always a pleasure. I guess our boy Scoops will be back next week.
So he says. He says.
He's out there just making money after money, hand over fist. With that being said, I have to actually go to a meeting now after we get off this with some fun stuff going on. Any last words, Ant?
All good, brother. Till next week.
Always a pleasure. It's good to see some good basketball, and go Sixers. For our sponsors, I don't think we have any. I don't do that.
We get no love, man. We get no love around here, man.
Nah, we can have as much love as we want, but I just don't announce the sponsors and all that kind of stuff too, because whatever. But anyway, check out our crowd play outro. With that being said, and all that fun stuff. But for my man Meads, I'm Tony Quigley, baseline jumper. We'll be back next week. Have a good one, guys.
All right, guys. Catch you later, man.
Thank you for watching the Sports Box. Follow us on Facebook at Sports Box Show, Twitter at Sports Box Show, Instagram at The Sports Box Show. Find us on YouTube and join Outside the Box, our Facebook sports discussion group. The Sports Box is brought to you by our friends at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use promo code THEBOX at sign up for 10 points. See you next time.